Hello friends, welcome to NEOMENTORS Academy. I am Amarnath, Faculty of Public Administration with 13 years of experience. I have scored 372 marks in Public Administration in 2008. In this session, we will talk about the importance of public administration as well as the syllabus of public administration. Right? Particularly, I will try to highlight what you call, so why public administration is useful and why we should take public administration, the difficulties as well as the contribution of public administration to other GS papers. So along with this, I will also provide the book list that is required for each and every chapter. So it is not the entire what you call the optional. So I'll try to provide book list on a chapter basis. Alright. So first let me talk about the importance of the subject. Alright. So before going to the syllabus, alright, let me talk about why we should take public administration. So why public administration is important. Alright. So most of the students have a fear in taking public administration. So here in this session, I will try to correct all your myths as well as fears. Alright. So why students hesitate in taking public administration? What is the reason for hesitation? Alright. So mainly it is about the scoring patterns. Mainly it is about scoring patterns of UPSC. Alright. So for last 10 years, alright, the scores of public administration, particularly from 2010 to 2017. So I don't say that it is up to 2020, but even it is up to 2017. Alright. The kind of marks, the awarding pattern of marks in public administration, it is somewhat not encouraging when compared to other optionals. Say for example, you take the optional subjects like anthropology or you take political science or sociology, the average mark in these optionals, it was around 260 to 270 marks. That is normally even a first attempter, they used to score safely around 240 plus marks. But at the same time, coming to public administration, if you take public administration, the average score in this, it is, alright, sorry. Okay. The average score in public administration, it is around alright, it is around 150 and 160s. Alright, so that is almost all from 2010 to 2017. So this was the average mark. Alright, in this period. But after 2017, we should know that. Alright, the level of marks have got increased. The reason for this increase in average mark is because of the kind of questions asked. So before 2017, the level of difficulty in questions were more when compared to the questions after 2017. That means from 2017 onwards, the level of difficulty has come down. Not only the length of question. So there are two things. One is the length of question and the other one is the difficulty levels of the questions. So day by day, year on year, the level of difficulty has come down. The length of question has come down and the abstractness of questions asked in public administration has come down. That means, so even same as other optionals, questions are almost all within the syllabus and 80% of the time questions are more direct in nature. That means if you are good in subject, right, definitely you can score around 250 plus marks. Any average candidate in their first attempt, they can score 250 plus marks. And I am challenging, if you have at least 30% of information nowadays, that is present trend, I am talking about present trend, that is even if you have 30 to 40% of content with you, you will get more than 280, 290 marks. So this is what my observation from the previous students. The one who wrote mains and the one who got service. In last 2 years, I have seen, particularly in the last year, and I am waiting for this year results. Alright? So even the candidates with a minimum knowledge, a minimum content, they were able to score 288 marks last year. Having 30% of information, you can definitely score 280 plus marks. This is what my open challenge. The days of difficulty has gone away. So you should not think about the difficulty of the subjects. It is purely about the content. Right? And this is one thing. Alright? And I am open to another fact. Another fact is that the students who are writing test series with me, right, normally they have written mains earlier, they are in this preparation for last 3 to 4 years, they were continuously preparing, they took almost the coaching in every institution and they are writing answers with me. Now when I have observed their answers, right, what I can say is, it is not with the paper, it is not with the the UPSC. Problem is with the candidates. This is what I can openly say. The basic problem is, even the students are not in a position to have the basic content. They don't even have a basic information. That is what I have observed from the students who are writing test series. They even lack the basic information, the actual content that is required. Right? So this is a word of caution for all those preparing for a UPSC mains exam, particularly public administration. First of all, try to read the basic resources before reading any institute material, before following the guides, before reading the some handwritten notes or some kind of notes. Do read standard textbooks without reading this, because I openly criticize this point. So even I have seen the people who are in their last attempt, even they lack the basic information. They don't know what is what of public administration. Alright. So I say that I got 372. The reason for getting this 372 is, right, in our times we used to read the basic textbooks, at least 2 to 3 basic textbooks, standard textbooks. That is the reason why our generation got more than 320 plus marks. And today, candidates are not even reading the basic sources, just blindly following the coaching materials, right, where I have seen enough mistakes. I kindly advise the students to read textbooks first and then go for coaching materials. Don't blindly believe in coaching materials. This is my strong word of caution. When I have asked the students, I have seen 4 to 5 candidates wrote the same information. I got surprised. When I checked their answers, almost 4 to 5 candidates have the same kind of answer. When I asked them, they said that they have read some kind of material. and they have shown me the material. When I have seen that material, there is a basic fundamental wrong, fundamental blunder mistakes, basic mistakes in that material. I don't know how to criticize it. I don't want to name the institution here now, the faculties, alright. So before reading some kind of material, first read textbooks. That is what the most important things. If you are strong in basic source, I see here, I don't want to be master in that. Gather basic information. Have 2 or 3 readings, make notes of your own. Then see, coaching materials, they are of they are of secondary importance. They are meant for a last minute revisions, not for the primary things. When you are at a primary level, you need to start reading the basic books, right? So this is what the basic things which are being missed. That is the reason why people don't score marks. When you lack basic content, when you lack basic information, how can we expect marks? Right? So this is why people have failed in getting marks. So one is one is the level of difficulty, but on the other hand, right, even problem lies with us, failure lies with us. We should accept this point, right? So if you are good in that, basic books, right? If you have 2 to 3 readings of the basic textbooks, and if you can make the notes, here I'll give my notes. It is not that it is not my my innovated notes. Whatever I am giving, it is compilation from different textbooks. You can find them directly from the textbooks. So my intention is only to reduce your burden in reading different textbooks, because as I have complete idea of where to get the best points, from which books we can have the best points. I have compiled all these best points in one place. Don't think that I have innovated something new and wrote the notes. There is no innovation of me. It is just a compilation. It is just a compilation of all the textbooks. Alright? So if you are good in that, you can score around 250 to 260 marks comfortably. And I am openly saying this because my students wrote mains last year, they got service, right? And I have seen their performance. I know their performance in my test series and the kind of marks they got. Alright? So this is what I can assure. Alright, so now no need to fear about the marks. UPSC is encouraging public administration. The one who are interested to take public administration, don't have a secondary thought. Blindly you can take public administration. Don't go by the words of institutions, because the people always, right, normally they invest money in top faculty in other optionals, and they want the student to take that optional. But remember, so each and every optional is encouraged by UPSC, including public administration. So this is what I want to correct. So now public administration is one of the safe optional in UPSC. Right? This is one thing. And another reason for taking public administration. So why we should take public administration? So the ongoing trends in UPSC is, right, paper has become more easy, and even the average scores are around 240 to 260 marks in public administration. This first reason. Second reason, right, how it contributes to other preparation of UPSC, particularly how this public administration is important for general studies, GS preparation. So how it is important for GS preparation? Remember, alright, so you are targeting 500 marks here in optional. In optional you are targeting 500 marks, alright. So if you take essay, paper, alright, in essay paper, that is, it is of 250 marks, alright. So there are two sections, section A and section B. So 125 here and 125 here. And I am challenging, even last year, there were essays which can be written with the knowledge of public administration. I still remember the question on decision making, right? Intuition versus logic. Intuition versus logic, that is, the question was on visionary decision making. So it is an essay which can be directly written by the knowledge of public administration. And every year you see the essays which can be answered with the help of knowledge of public administration. That means I am challenging that with the knowledge of public administration, you can write at least one essay. That means you can score, right, in essay paper, you can score around 100 marks by the knowledge of public administration, right? So coming to GS paper 1, right, which is of history, geography, right, and you have social issues. So, alright, and coming to this, social issues are those areas which you can also find in public administration. Right? The knowledge of public administration, it will help you to answer this, the social issues. That means almost 30 marks in GS paper 1, you can answer around GS 1, you can answer around 30 to 40 marks. Coming to GS 2, right, polity, governance and international relations. So polity, governance is of direct relevance to public administration. The knowledge of public administration, it will help you to answer out of 250 marks, you can answer 180 marks. That means you can comfortably score around 110 to 120 marks just by using knowledge of public administration in GS paper 2, right? So it will help you to score around 110 to 120 marks in GS paper 2. Similarly, in GS paper 3, you have economy, disaster management, environment ecology, science and technology, right, and internal security. Now, if you take this syllabus, internal security, it is a part of public administration. Disaster management, it is a part of public administration. That means with the knowledge of public administration, you can answer these issues of internal security, disaster management and some of the issues even in economy. We have financial management, we have financial administration, right? So where most of the entire topics of public administration, you also find them in GS. The topics of PubAd paper 1 and the topics of PubAd paper 2. So we have financial administration in paper 1 and financial management in paper 2. The topics of both these papers, it is completely a part of economy. Right? That means you can answer 1 or 2 questions in economy. That means almost all out of 250 marks. Again, you can answer 100 marks in GS paper 3 with the help of public administration. That means it will help you to score another 80 marks in GS paper 3. See, I'm not talking about the total marks, the amount of marks that we can gain in GS papers. Right? And coming to GS paper 4, that is ethics paper. Right? And remember, out of 250 marks, 125 marks in ethics paper you can directly find in public administration. A common syllabus between public administration and GS paper 4. That means out of 250 marks, you can answer around 130-140 marks, out of which you can score around 100 marks, 100 to 110 marks in GS paper 4. That means with the knowledge of public administration, I am just talking about the written exam, alright. So with the knowledge of public administration, you can score around 130 plus 120, 250 plus 80, 330 plus 110, 440 marks. It is 440 marks in public administration, in GS, and including if you can score around 260 marks in optional subjects, your marks will be around 700 just by the knowledge of public administration. this will be your score. Still, you have every chance of gaining 20 to 30 marks. See here, you can score another 70 marks here by the knowledge of other subjects. Still, you can score around 10 marks here, right? And here, you can score almost all 30 marks here. Your chance of scoring additional 30 marks, alright? And here, you can still score around 10 to 20 marks in ethics paper. That means, additionally, you can score 10 plus 70, 80 plus 30, 110 plus 10, 120 marks. That means, comfortably, you can score around 800 marks, which is more than enough to get an interview call. Scoring around 700 itself will help you to get interview call. Scoring around 700 to 750, right? So on paper it is possible that you can score around 700 marks with the knowledge of public administration, just by knowledge of public administration. And in total, you can score around 800 marks in written exam. Alright, so this is what the advantage of public administration. So why we should take public administration? So this is a reason. This is a reason why we should take public administration. Right? So I have talked about the trends of marks in UPSC. So nowadays, that is after 2017, there is what we call a facilitation made by UPSC. That is, you can comfortably score what we call 260 marks in public administration. The paper is not that difficult. From 2017 till date, year on year, the difficulty less, the abstractness is coming down. You should remember this point. Alright. Now, the next thing is, alright. So, the next point here is, alright. The amount of syllabus that we have in public administration. Alright. Alright. So if you take syllabus of public administration, alright, in paper 1, we have 12 topics. In paper 2, we have 14 topics. Paper 1 has 12 topics and paper 2 has 14 topics. And the common topics between paper 1 and paper 2, it is almost all 6 chapters. That means, let me remove these 6 chapters from paper 2. That means, it is almost all 8. So, 12 plus 8. It is, in total, the number of topics that we need to read is 20. Alright. In this paper 1, out of 12, alright, 6 chapters, they are actual topics of public administration. Alright. The core topics of public administration. There are 6 chapters which are core of public administration. And the remaining 6, you can find them both in public administration as well as in GS papers. Common topics for both paper 1 as well as GS 2. Say for example, public policy, financial administration, right, accountability and control, right, administrative law. So these are the topics which you find both in public administration as well as polity and governance. That means, if you are strong in public administration, no need to read in GS. Or else, if you are strong in GS, then there is no need for public administration. So, common topics. So, if you ask me, in total, the core topics of public administration and which are somewhat difficult to understand for a newcomer. So, this is what the difficulty level. For a newcomer, alright, the difficulty lies in understanding this. Out of 6, the difficulty lies in understanding 4 chapters. If you are strong in that 4 chapters, I am challenging public administration is a cakewalk. Right? And even if you round up in that 4, it is only 2 topics. That means in entire public administration, only 2 topics are headache. If you are strong in the 2 topics, if you are good in that, if you can understand them, right, public administration will be a cakewalk. Right? So this is what guaranteed. Right? So every candidate, everyone who is taking public administration or who is coming to public administration for the first time, they will find difficulty only in these 2 topics. But once you are good in that, you are unstoppable. Alright. So this is what about paper 1 and paper 2. Alright. 80% of paper 2, it is from, right, for 80% of topics, polity is the basis. The one who are strong in polity, they will be good in paper 2. Or if you are strong in paper 2, no need to prepare for polity. Because every chapter in paper 2, it is from polity. That is, you need to read the source of polity again here. So you need to have, right, the difference is, right, in GS, it is purely polity, whereas in public administration, we need to use paper 1 in paper 2. Along with this, we need to be thorough with current affairs. We need to apply current affairs in paper 2. Without which it is difficult to answer. That is, it will be difficult for getting marks. Writing answers are easy in paper 2, but getting marks is difficult. So there is much difference between writing answers and getting marks. Right? You should clearly show the difference between polity and public administration. Though it is, if you take the content, if you take the syllabus, though it is same, but when it comes to answer presentation, we need to use paper 1 in paper 2. This is one thing. Along with this, we should also bring in the relevant current affairs, the recommendations of various committees, right, the Supreme Court judgments in paper 2, which makes your answer an attractive and a good answer. So that is the difference between public administration and polity. Alright. So you should be thorough with this. Alright. So this is what about the syllabus. Alright. So that means in terms of total syllabus, when compared to other optionals, the syllabus of public administration is quite less and it is easy. Right. So not only the quantity of syllabus, but even the kind of difficulty, it is easy. Alright. So just focus on these points. Alright. So now let me move towards the actual syllabus of public administration. Alright. So, and another advantage of why we should take coaching in this academy, right? Because the faculty, alright, the marks, alright. So the one who is good in answer writing, definitely, alright, they can score around 290 plus marks in public administration. The only way of scoring marks is answer writing. Without this, no one can help you. You should keep on writing answers. So daily I'll post 1 or 2 questions. Daily there will be 1 or 2 questions given. Alright, the questions will be discussed. At the same time, you will be having all the daily tests as well as weekly tests. So once, that is, you will be clubbed with those students who wrote mains already, and I'll make you to compete with them. Alright. So you will come to know yourself. You can know your own performance only when you compare yourself with those who wrote mains and the kind of discussion that we have. So normally when I take test discussions, I'll combine all the students so that the newcomers can learn about the way the seniors are analyzing. The one who already wrote mains exam, their way of analysis. Alright. So when you keep on having that kind of interaction along with you, you will come to know the answer writing, and you will, what you call, right, you will lose all the fears. Alright. So by the time, that is once we go into the syllabus and once we start completing our syllabus, that is once we completing our chapter wise syllabus, I'll make you write all the tests. Alright. And for each and every test, there will be a written answers, a written model answers. It is not that what you call, I'll just discuss and leave the class. Alright. So for each and every test, there are written answers given to you, which will help you a lot in answer writing. Alright. The most difficult part of getting marks is putting pen on the paper. Once you have this ease in answer writing, definitely you will be the topper. Alright. So if you take the first part of the syllabus, right, it is about introduction of public administration. That is how the public administration has evolved. What are different stages in the evolution of public administration, right? So public administration as a discipline, it got evolved in 1887 because of the efforts of Woodrow Wilson, right? He is regarded as father of public administration, right? So Woodrow Wilson is regarded as father of public administration, and it is because of the efforts of Woodrow Wilson, public administration has emerged as a separate discipline. It has emerged as a separate discipline, right? So what are different stages, what are different phases, and how public administration has overcome all the challenges from 1887 till date. We have seen recently, we have seen the COVID challenge, the economic crisis, the kind of wars that are ongoing in the present day world. So how countries are facing these challenges, different challenges, and how public administration, right, has shown resilience, how it has withstood all these challenges, and what kind of solutions that public administration has given to these challenges. So we'll try to learn all these developments in the first chapter. Alright. So first chapter, be thorough with, right, Mohit Bhattacharya. You need to follow this Mohit Bhattacharya. Alright. For concepts like what you call evolution, particularly for evolution, new public administration, right, new public management, right, then public choice approach. For all these, right, for all these concepts, read New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya. Also follow the IGNO notes, right, MPA 012, MPA 011, particularly the concepts of new public management, good governance, right, public choice theory, right, and new public administration. You can have impact of liberalization, privatization. You have a very good information, you have a very good content in IGNO books, right? So read MPA 012. Sorry, MPA 012, IGNO. So these are the reference sources. You can download, it is an open material that is available, right? You can download it. Then second chapter. And remember, from first chapter, you will get not less than 30 marks. My challenge, you will get around, out of 250 marks, there will be at least 2 questions, not 1 question, it will be at least 2 questions. Not only 2 questions, the knowledge of first chapter, you can use elsewhere in public administration. Alright, if you are good in first chapter, I am challenging, you can answer any other question asked in public administration. You can even answer the questions of other chapters also. The questions of other chapters, it will be held by the knowledge of the first chapter. Alright. So that is how you can score around 30 marks, 30 to 40 marks just with the knowledge of introduction. Alright. If accidentally if you clear prelims exam in your first attempt, my challenge is just read first chapter. Read 3 to 4 chapters of public administration, you will get 250 marks. No need to read all the chapters. My open challenge again. Any first attempter, if they find a difficulty in time management, or if they have no time to prepare the entire chapters of public administration, focus on 4 to 5 chapters, go for exam, alright, get around 250 marks. Alright, and one of that 4 to 5 chapters is first chapter. Second one is administrative theories. Alright, so it is administrative theories. Right, so it is these theories which has contributed, right, to the knowledge of public administration or the discipline of public administration. So we have different theories. Alright, so if you take the theory of public administration, it is a contribution from many thinkers from different background, thinkers with different views. They have contributed to the public administration, right? So we have classical thinkers, that is, we have classical views, human relations thinkers, behavioral thinkers, alright? So these are simply, we can classify them as closed thinkers and open system thinkers, right? We have closed theories and open theories, alright? So these are different thinkers. These are different thinkers, alright, which help you, who have helped public administration in developing the theory. So we will try to learn about all these thinkers. So for this, read Prasad and Prasad, Administrative Thinkers by Prasad and Prasad, and along with Prasad and Prasad, read D.no MPA 012. So one is Administrative Thinkers by Prasad and Prasad, alright, Prasad and Prasad. Along with this, alright, read MPA 012, alright, so which contains views of different thinkers. Next, coming to administrative behavior. Alright, so if you take this administrative behavior, alright, it purely focuses on the behavior of individuals within the organization. So how an individual behaves in the organization, how and what factors the motivation levels depends upon. So what motivates the individual to work, how the organizations are led, that is, we'll talk about leadership, we'll talk about motivation, we'll talk about moral, how decisions are made, a general topic. So from here, it will be very easy to understand public administration. These are not that difficult, right? These are not that difficult, they are very, very easy to understand, right? So here for this, what we call third chapter, read Stephen P. Robbins, alright, and Fred Ludans. So one source is organizational behavior. Organizational behavior by Fred Ludans. And Stephen P. Robbins. Alright, so these are the best sources. Alright, these are the best sources. Alright, see here, it is my duty to provide all the relevant books to you. Alright, but still, if you take my notes, it is a collection of all these books. My notes is a collection of all these books. Don't think that I am writing my own notes. It is purely from these books. Alright, so you can follow these sources. Alright, coming to organizations, the next chapter, theories of organization. Alright, so we have different theories to explain existence of organization, that is, different types of organizations. Alright, so from here we can start applying the knowledge of first 2 chapters. Whatever we read in first 3 chapters, we can simply apply the knowledge of first 3 chapters in these topics. Alright, so we always talk about ministries, corporations, companies in every day, that is in our daily life. We always come across these institutions. So we'll come to know what they are, what are their basic features, in what way they are different. Alright, so this helps us to make a clear difference between different types of organization. Remember, if you are good in this first 4th chapter, no need to read second paper. Again, the same topic is in second paper. If you are strong here, we can simply avoid the topic in second paper. Same information, same content, right? But the only thing is, you need to give what we call current affairs examples. You need to give the present examples, right? So, we always talk about triple P, public-private partnership. So, without triple P, there is no question paper of governance, GS paper 2, right? Same thing with regulatory authorities, common topic in both public administration as well as in GS paper, right? So, and coming to the other topics, they are common for both paper 1 and paper 2, alright? So, here for this chapter, you can read Avasthi and Maheshwari, Public Administration by Avasthi and Maheshwari, or Public Administration by Sadhana and Sharma. Public Administration by Sadhana and Sharma. Alright. So, either of these books, either Avasthi and Maheshwari or Sadhana and Sharma. Alright. So, this is about theories of organization. Accountability control, entire polity and governance. It is entire polity and governance. Alright. So, citizen charter, social audit, then you have legislative control, what you call executive control, judicial control. Alright. So, whatever the knowledge that we have gathered in polity, it will be helpful here. So, common topic for both public administration paper 1, paper 2 and GS paper, not only there in ethics paper also. Same topics you find even in ethics paper. Alright. The best book for this is, you can follow Lakshmikant Indian Polity. Alright. So, one is Lakshmikant Polity, and apart from this, read Sadhana Sharma. Sadhana and Sharma is a very good book for this. Remember, Sadhana Sharma is a must and should book for every public administration student. It is a Bible of public administration. Do purchase, mandatorily purchase Sadhana and Sharma. And remember, right? I'll give few things. Purchase Public Administration by Lakshmikant, because without this, you can't start your preparation. Right? Public Administration by Lakshmikant is very, very important. Right? Whatever books you want to follow, it should be only after this book. I am challenging, even just by reading Lakshmikant Public Administration, you can get around 250 marks just by knowledge of public administration, what called Lakshmikant book. So, Lakshmikant is a key for other textbooks. So, purchase Lakshmikant Public Administration, Mohit Bhattacharya, New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya, then what you call Public Administration by Sadhana and Sharma. So, make what you call synopsis of each and every word by referring these books. Just refer these books, take a topic, go to textbook, read it once, understand, underline and make a notes. Make a synopsis. So, this should be the approach before going to any institute material. Before going to any institute material, you should do this. Alright. So, administrative law, right? A topic which is common to both public administration as well as polity, governance and ethics paper. Alright. Again for this, Sadhana Sharma or Avasthi Maheshwari. You can follow either of these books. Alright. Comparative public administration. Alright. So, if you take this comparative public administration, it is simply about comparing administrative systems of different countries. Right? Say for example, right, the kind of, that is comparing Indian system with the European countries, America, Europe, France, we have different countries. Right? So, it is, but in a theoretical perspective. So, we will try to compare administrative systems of different countries, and here again there won't be anything new in this chapter. So whatever we read in first chapter and second chapter, particularly the second chapter, it will help you to understand this, what you call this, compared to public administration, right? In second chapter, we will try, we will learn about what called bureaucracy given by Weber. So same thing will be used again here, alright? So when we go into actual topic, it will be easy for you to understand, right? So we will try to understand this compared to public, that is compared to public administration by using Weberian bureaucracy as well as another thinker called as Riggs, F.W. Riggs, right? So, and without this, there is no question paper. Riggs and his criticisms, they are very important, alright? Next, coming to development dynamics, that is simply development administration. What is the concept of development? How the concept of development has changed over a period of time, changing profiles of development. What is the role of bureaucracy in development? Alright, whether bureaucracy is really a sufficient institution for bringing development. And today we all talk about people participation, right? Role of voluntary sector, role of NGOs along with the government. So here we talk about this. We talk about this, what you call different institutions. Along with government, we talk about different institutions. So how these different institutions will bring development, alright? So again, this is a topic which is common for both public administration as well as GS paper 2, alright? If you are strong here, no need to have a separate preparation for GS paper, alright? So for both these, for compared to public administration as well as for development administration, again read Sadhana Sharma. Sadhana and Sharma. So we have a separate book. We have a separate book of compared to public administration by R.K. Arora, right? So, right, it is only a reference, not a compulsion for you to read, alright? So just read Sadhana Sharma, alright? Then coming to the next chapter, that is personal administration, the human resource management. Simply, it is about human resource management. Alright, so what do you mean by recruitment? What is training? Why it is important? What are different types of training? Different types of recruitments. Alright, so how wages are paid? How promotions are given? What is the kind of system that we have in India? Alright, so we will read about all these things. That is how the civil servants are recruited, how bureaucrats are recruited. Right. So here and coming to this. We have topics like grievance redressal mechanisms, employer-employee relations, right? Administrative ethics, code of conduct. So it is a topic common for both public administration paper 1, same topics. Again you find in paper 2 of public administration, same thing you find in ethics paper, and you also find the same things in GS paper 2. That means this topic is common for 4 papers. Alright? So the best book for this is, alright, you can read Sadhana and Sharma. Apart from this, alright, when we read this personal administration, we should use second ARC report, alright. So not only for paper 2, but even for paper 1. So Sadhana Sharma and second ARC. Sadhana Sharma and second ARC. Alright, public policy, the next one. What is policy? So already we had a discussion in governance paper. So if you look at previously of our governance class, right, normally I start governance class with public policy. Do you remember? You have forgot everything. Alright, so I started governance class with public policy. Alright. So it is compulsory question in the GS paper 2 as well as in public administration. This year you have 2 questions from public policy. Alright. So what are how policies are made? What are different types of policies? We'll talk about state theories. We'll talk about what you call models. Right. The entire policy cycle. The best book for this is D.no. D.no Public Policy. IGNO public policy. Alright. So, this is the first, what you call, alright, for public policy. And remember, same thing you can use for what you call GS paper 2 also. And even you have another reference books like RK Sapru, public policy by RK Sapru. But here they are secondary. My best advice is go through IGNO book. It is enough. Alright. Techniques of administrative improvement. Alright. So work study, work measurement. So though it is seen as separate chapter, but remember, when we read GS, about second chapter of public administration, particularly when we read what we call scientific management theory, when we read administrative management theory, almost all will complete this topic. The knowledge of second chapter will help you to understand this. It is very easy to understand if you are good in second chapter. So that is, we have interlinks. We have interlinks and we have what we call interdependence. Alright. So if you are good in this, in second chapter, this will be very dead easy. And the best book for this chapter is Avasti and Maheshwari. One is Avasti and Maheshwari, or you can also refer New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya. Alright. You can also use this New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya for this techniques of administrative improvement. Alright. So financial administration. Alright. A topic for paper 1, paper 2 and your GS paper 3. What is fiscal policy, monetary policy, accounts, auditing, alright. So related to control over on the finances, alright. So public borrowings, public debts, different types of debts, the impacts of debt management, right. So all these are covered. And if you ask me, the best book for this financial administration is, you can follow IGNO, alright. So you can follow IGNO for personal administration, you can follow IGNO for public policy, for financial administration, alright. So even IGNO are a very good source, even they are a very good source, just you can simply follow them, alright. So this is about the entire first paper, alright. So any student of public administration, alright, should have read these at least 2 or 3 books, right. Either what you call, if you take New Horizons of Public Administration by Mohit Bhattacharya, Sadhana Sharma, Avasti Maheshwari, right, at least Lakshmikant. It is very important. Alright. So this is what about the paper 1. Now coming to paper 2, alright. So let us examine the what you call syllabus of paper 2, alright. So for paper 2, I will say one thing. Read Indian Public Administration by Ramesh K. Arora, Rajni Goyal and R. K. Arora. Most, that is, right, mandatory books. Rajni Goyal and Ramesh K. Arora. Right? Indian Administration by S.R. Maheshwari. Indian Administration by class lo unnani malli call chestanu. Indian Administration by S.R. Maheshwari. And you have one good guide, that is Fadya and Fadya. Alright. You can also follow, Fadya is a ready-made notes. Alright. It is just a guide, it is ready-made notes. Alright. So you can also follow Fadya as the source. Alright. So these are the books which I had during my preparation. Alright. So you can simply follow these. Alright. So if we take the first chapter, evolution of public Indian administration, how Indian administration got evolved, the contribution of Mauryan administration, that is the contribution of Kautilya's Ardhashastra. Alright. Then how the Indian administration was contributed by Mughals, the role of Mughals and the contribution by Mughals, alright, Mughal administration, then British administration, alright. So we know, alright, how British system has what we call contributed to development of India's constitution. So we have seen the what we call constitutional development during company rule, during the crown rule. It is from 1858 to 1947, the 1909 Act, 1861 Act. So you have all the knowledge of all these things. So we'll read all these things. That is, again, there is no difference. So you read all this in your GS paper. Mauryans, Kautilya's Ardhashastra, Mughals administration, in your history part. Alright, and if you take British Indian administration, it is in your polity. Alright, next coming to salient features of Indian constitution, the second chapter. If you take this chapter, salient features of Indian constitution, constitutionalism, alright, bureaucracy and development. So if you take these topics, already we have covered this in the first paper. Common topics in paper 1 as well as in paper 2. No need to have a separate preparation. Alright, so remember, along with this, read NCERT books. Please try to read NCERT book, Indian Constitution at Work. Alright, so try to read it. And coming to bureaucracy and development, you have this in your 12th class NCERT. Alright, so read NCERTs of class 9, 10, 11, 12. So don't think that they are inferior. They are very, very useful for optional subjects. Alright, so read them thoroughly. Public sector undertakings, PSUs. So already we have talked about companies, corporations. In paper 1 we have theories of organization, different forms of organization, the same chapter again. That is the reason why I said that, right, if you are strong there, we can skip this topic. A common topic for both paper 1 and paper 2. Alright, so you can get this information in S.R. Maheshwari, a very good information in Indian administration by S.R. Maheshwari. Alright, then union government. That means it includes the entire union legislature, executive, judiciary, a different institutional setup of union. That is union government. That is central secretariat, cabinet secretariat, PMO. Alright, the emerging trends in the working of these institutions. Right, say for example, if you take the role of Prime Minister, how the role of Prime Minister got changed over a period of time, whether it was same in 1950s, 1960s and today. So how the role of Prime Minister got changed with the changing nature of governance, with the changing nature of political system. We had single party system, then we had multi-party system, then we had single party system with our dominant politics. Right? So the international trends and how they are affecting, how there is a change in the functioning of Prime Minister, the role of Prime Minister, how the institutions like PMO, Cabinet Secretariat, how they have influenced the functioning of PM, the Prime Minister, right? The changing role of Council of Ministers. Today we talk about Kitchen Cabinet, right? So that is, we'll talk about all the changes in the trends, alright? So this chapter is about the entire union government. That means, again, it is a topic which is common to polity, right? The President, the Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, parliamentary system, the parliamentary committees, all these things, right? So if you are good in polity, if you are good in Lakshmikant polity, then definitely it will be very, very useful. So along with polity, knowledge of polity, using current affairs, using secondary RC reports, right? It will be very good answer in public administration, alright? Similarly, alright, the planning system of India, alright? So the planning system of India, how the planning system got changed over a period of time, right? So how Indian planning system got evolved. Today we talk about Niti Aayog, the role of Niti Aayog, whether Niti Aayog is really successful in bringing transformation. So how Niti Aayog has transformed India when compared to the previous institutions like Planning Commission or National Development Council. Alright, so we'll try to analyze all these institutional mechanisms, the approaches, right, along with the examples. So here we need to use different case studies, we need to use examples to make an impressive answer, to write an impressive answer. right? So different types of planning, right? Indicative planning, imperative planning, right? And how this planning system, how this planning approaches towards planning got changed with the changing nature of state, with the changing nature of nation, the state, how the planning system got changed, right? So that is, we had socialistic state earlier, then we had a state which is dominated by markets, and today we have a new thing, that is merge of both state and markets, that is dominant philosophy of triple P, right? So we'll try to analyze the impact of all these things, all right? And major policies of government of India, right? You take agriculture policy, science and technology policy, all right? The rural development policy of India. So how they have brought a change, the kind of results that were acquired from these, all right? So we'll try to analyze all these things, and again the best book is S.R. Maheshwari and Ramesh K. Arora, R.K. Arora, all right? Next, the state government. In the preceding topic, we have talked about union government. Now it is state government, the governor, the chief minister, the entire institutional system at the state level, right? So we talk about chief secretaries, right? The state secretariat, the emerging trends, the relation between the secretariat and directorates, the field offices, right? We'll try to analyze all these things at the state level, the changing nature, and mostly we all know about the question will be on governor, the questions will be on center-state relations. If at all questions are to be asked on this area, questions will be on role of governor, finance commission, center-state relations, the chief minister. It is predictable issue, alright? You can easily predict them, alright? So once again, you need to have a very good understanding of polity. Without this, it is not possible to write the answer. So you need to be thorough with polity, alright? Next one, district administration, alright? So here we'll talk about district collector, the roles of district collector, how there is a role change in the district collector, the kind of changes that we see. So before independence, after independence, and after the emergence of market state and emergence of local bodies, the impact of 73rd, 74th Amendment Act on working of district collector, the impact of specialized agencies, non-governmental institutions, NGOs, civil societies on the working of what you call district collector. So here we'll try to analyze all these things. And here, remember, you can have a very good information from R.K. Arora, but apart from this, I have had a selected articles. I have a collection of articles from IJPA, Indian Journal of Public Administration. So we can use the journals to write an impressive answer in exam. Alright, so we'll try to focus on these topics. So this is what about the topic of citizen, district administration. Alright, so we all talk about politics, administration nexus. So how this nexus is affecting the role of district collector, the functioning of district collector, emergence of political consciousness in the society. Alright, so how the present political trends are affecting what you call district collector. And today you see every gully leader, even a gully leader, they are questioning district collector. They threaten the district collector. They interfere with the functioning of district collector. And because of which either we see politicization or we see what you call suppression of the institution of district collector. So here we will try to analyze all these issues, the present ongoing trends, and how different committees have recommended. You take first ARC, you take what you call the Poonchi Committee on District Collector, right? You take Sarkaria Commission, second ARC. So we had what you call different committees and the recommendations on the working of district collector, right? So we'll try to understand it. Next, the topic of civil services, the concept of civil services in India. So already we had this topic in paper 1, personal administration. So there is no difference between the topic of paper 1 and the topic of paper 2. It is same. Everything is same. The same words. If you see these words, code of conduct, right? Grievance redressal system, right? The political rights, that is employer-employee relations, civil service neutrality, civil service activism, right? So these are the topics which are common for both paper 1 and even in ethics paper. So whatever you read here, it is highly helpful in ethics paper. That is the reason why I say, if you are good in public administration, you can score 110 marks in ethics paper. If you are good in public administration, you can score 110 marks in GS paper 2. No doubt in that. Alright. So, but you need to spend around 6 months on optional. Without spending 6 months on optional, definitely you will not be in a position to score marks. It is not just about public administration. It is even your GS preparation. It is even about the GS preparation. So, you need to be thorough with it. Right? So, public administration will help you a lot. Right? Take this as granted. Right? If you believe, right? If you believe in this public administration, it is this optional which will lift you. Right? Financial management, the same thing that we have seen in paper 1. Again, we talk about fiscal policies, monetary policies. But here, we will talk in terms of Indian perspective. That is Indian economy. Alright. The same role of CAG. What is audit? Alright. So, Control General of Accounts. Alright. So, we will discuss the entire, what you call the financial system of India. Right. Role of Finance Minister, role of RBI. Right. And other specialized institutions, financial reforms in India. Alright. We have the topic of administrative reforms. Particularly reforms in financial sector, right? Reforms in civil services, right? The topic of financial management as well as civil service system. So, reforms in civil services and reforms in financial management. It is again a separate chapter. That means no need to read separately. If you are good in both this personal administration as well as financial administration, you can even cover this topic. So, if you take the syllabus, most of the syllabus is overlapping. Right? Most of the syllabus in public administration, it is overlapping. Right? So, you don't find any newness, right, in the topics. Almost all they are same. That is the reason why I'll take not more than 250 to 300 hours to complete public administration. 1.5 hour a day, 1.5 hour to 2 hours a day, it will take 250 to 300 hours of class to complete entire public administration. Right? Almost all 3.5 months. Alright. So, this is next. Rural development, that is simply 73rd Amendment Act. It is about 73rd Amendment Act. Alright. The emergence of local bodies in India, the importance of local bodies in India, the kind of challenges they have faced, the kind of role they have in the present day decentralized governance. So, when we talk about good governance, so good governance always talk about decentralization, accountability, people participation. The role of this what you call institutions, local bodies, in promoting people participation, in promoting good governance, in promoting accountability. So, we will talk about this. What you call entire 73rd Amendment Act as well as the agencies used by the state, right? Both the state actors as well as non-state actors, role of self-help groups, role of what you call specialized institutions like NIRD, we have DRDA, District Rural Development Authority, right? Center for People's Movement for Administrative Reforms and what you call implementing technology, that is CAPAT movement simply. Alright, so we will talk about different strategies and institutions used. Similarly is with urban local bodies. That means what? Rural local bodies is about 73rd Amendment Act, whereas urban local bodies it is about 74th Amendment Act. Alright, simply it is about 74th Amendment Act. Alright, so the kind of new developments, the emerging trends, worldwide emerging trends in the what you call governance, in the local governance. So, here you will try to use the kind of development that took place in America, in other Western countries, and we will try to compare. See here, common topic for both paper 1 as well as paper 2, right? Same topic, right? So, then law and order administration, internal security in GS paper 3, right? So, we have different institutions involved, different types of forces, different types of institutions involved, the approaches, the kind of challenges that we have in India, the law and order challenges, role of district collector, role of policing system, alright. So, different what you call reforms made, right? reforms advocated, alright, in these what you call institutions, alright. So, alright, for this, alright, there is one book called as Avasthi and Avasthi. For the chapter of law and administration, you can follow Indian administration by Avasthi and Avasthi, right? So we have Avasthi and Maheshwari, and we have Avasthi and Avasthi. Both are different, right? So Avasthi and Avasthi is a different book. So this specific chapter you can find in Avasthi and Avasthi, all right? So, and apart from this, the emerging issues, the challenging issues of Indian administration. That is, we always talk about loss of values in public services, corruption in public services, the reason for corruption in public services, values in public services, disaster management. So, all these are discussed in this. This entire chapter is about the kind of issues which are faced in India, particularly in Indian administration. Alright. So we will try to analyze all these issues. Alright. So this is about the two papers. Alright. So if you look at paper 2, you don't find anything new in paper 2. So whatever you read in GS, alright, the same thing again in public administration. So you need not worry, you need not fear about public administration. Spend 6 months of time and score around 700 marks in entire UPSC mains. It is not just public administration, you can score in other GS papers. 6 months of good time in public administration, definitely it will help you to score around 700 marks. Any sincere preparation, it will fetch you 700 marks. No doubt in this. The only thing is, you need to keep on writing answers. Keep on writing answers. Practice every day. Continuous practice. There should not be a day without writing answers. The moment you stop writing answers, you are unfit for writing UPSC. Alright? So coming to public administration, so normally I have a habit of giving questions every day and try to write them and come to the class. Alright? So this is about the syllabus and the references, right, that we need to follow. So before leaving, if you have any doubts, you can ask me.